Hello and welcome to the Cardinal Report, the show that takes you inside North Central College athletics. I'm Will Armistead, and today we're checking out North Central women's tennis, the recent win over Aurora University, and much more as the Cardinal Report rolls on. Last fall, the Cardinals finished the season with 11 dual meet wins, the most in school's history. They concluded the CCIW championships in 4th place, just 3 points shy of a 3rd place finish. Coach Don Moravec, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, this is your 5th season here. You've seen a lot of progression since, season number 1 to where you're at now. You're coming in. That first year, you went 8-8-1. I think it was the best record in over 20 years at the school. What did you see maybe before you came in that you saw after that first season?
Well, I think one of the factors that contributed to the lack of wins in the years past is the fact that there's been so many turnover in coaches. I think before I took over, since 1980, there were 12 or 13 coaches, head coaches prior to my coming. And that has a lot to do with getting some consistency, having, when you try to recruit a prospective student athlete, one of the things they ask you, are you going to be here next year? And when I was asked to take the position 5 years ago, I said I would take it, and I would make a point to try to build the program up to where it was at one time many years ago. But it's been quite a while since we've been a consistent winner.
You have a lot of girls on the team this year, over 20, more than what you had last season. Not a lot of D3 colleges can boast a roster the size of I guess what North Central has. Can you attribute that to anything? I mean, you have girls coming in from Wisconsin, Indiana, Tennessee. What would you attribute that to?
Well, 80% of my time is spent on recruiting, and I spent a lot of time emailing on the internet, visiting schools. I'm always available when they have the visit days at North Central, so I'm pretty proactive as far as staying up and following up with leads. This past season was very unusual because normally we have 5 or 6 incoming freshmen. This year we had 15 with 2 sets of twins from one set from Tennessee and the other set of twins from Minnesota. So this year has been a very unusual year for the number of incoming freshmen that we have.
When you're going out and you're recruiting, a lot of what I think coaches may push is playing time or scholarship money. What's your push? When you're going out, if you're spending 80% of your time recruiting, how do you try and convince those freshmen or incoming freshmen to be a North Central College Cardinal?
Well, our approach is this. You're coming to North Central because you want a good education. And if you're coming here just to play tennis, then North Central's not the place for you. You're here to get an education, and if you can have the ability to play a sport, that's a bonus for you, and it's part of the college experience. But our push is that you're here for the education. Earlier this week, you went 2-0. You had a victory over Elmhurst College, 8-1. You also beat Aurora University 9-0. In that Aurora University meet, it looks like the team really cruised. Specifically in the singles, everybody looked very comfortable. Is that something you preach? What's the team's style? Well, I think the kids have to believe in themselves, and that's part of, believing yourself is part of the winning tradition. And it's so much nicer to be able to say that we had a fine season. Winning makes it a lot more enjoyable if you're winning versus if you're losing. And once you start getting that winning tradition going, the kids really start believing in themselves that, you know, and we're pretty good as a team, and I'm a pretty good individual player. Our talent this year is the best we've ever had. But keep in mind that Illinois Wesleyan, we lost to earlier this season, 5-4. They also brought in 2 outstanding freshman tennis players. And so even though we're better, I know Augustana, their coach is bragging about this is his best season. He thinks this is going to be his best season of the year. So yes, we're better, but the other teams are getting better as well.
Definitely, certainly. Not just looking at the singles, the doubles as well looked very comfortable playing with one another. I know there's a new combination of girls at the number 2 spot. They look just as comfortable. Do you feel like you have a good fit with the doubles teams that you have out there on the court that's played this week?
Well, we still have a concern with our number 1 doubles team. There are two best players, or at least in singles, and it's very difficult. The 2 that we have playing at number 1 doubles, that's Corey Schillerstrom and Alicia DeGrado, in high school never played doubles. So for them, it's a bigger transition to get them to start thinking doubles mentality, where you have to work together out there, and they're not there yet. We're hoping that they're going to get this turned around, but right now they're not playing as well as I think, you know, they're capable of playing. Our number 2 doubles, this is a new combination this year. They like one another. They communicate. They play smart double strategy. You know, they rotate when they're supposed to. And the same thing with our 3rd doubles team. They seem to get along quite well. They communicate. They have hand signals, and they've been very successful. In fact, their only loss was at Quincy. They finished 3rd at the tournament. But other than that, they're 5-1.
Great. Well, Coach, we were out at the Aurora University competition. We had an opportunity to meet up with a couple of the athletes in this week's edition of What's the Word?
This team, they were good. They were steady. It felt good to, I don't know, control the points a little bit better, and I think staying back helped a lot. My serve was a lot better today, able to get that in. And yeah, just hitting the ball, getting it over the net, and keeping it in play.
I mean, it's good experience for our kids. We're very competitive in our conference, but the CCIW is obviously a step up as far as the tennis and things go. So it's good experience for our kids, though.
They're good competition. They always have been, and I've played them the last couple years, and they're always good. There's really good coaching, and I've hung out with them, practiced with them a couple times, and see how they train, and they're just good. Usually, when you hit the 3 or the 4 mark in doubles and singles, the competition drops down a little bit. Not that they're not good, but it's simpler. And here they roll deep with everything, and they're all very, very good players.
I mean, it's just the depth is the biggest thing with the CCIW compared to a lot of the other conference, in tennis especially. But with these kids, we just try and get them to know their own game and play consistently if they can, especially as you get down in the lower number, you know, the 4, 5, 6 singles. A lot of times if you're consistent, you can be pretty effective.
North Central, they pay attention to the little things, which is really important in tennis, and we don't do that as much as we should. And I think a lot of the girls should have watched a little better and taken that in to notice the things, shots that they could be taking instead of just hitting it back and forth, taking some chances going to the net, things like that.
This is probably the best team they've had, and they're building a program over there, and you know, we're getting better every year. This is our 5th year, and we're starting to get quality players in, and that's the difference.
Every win that we get, you know, it adds into our confidence, and I don't know, every, matches are what help us get better, and, every win that we can get, it helps.
Certainly it helps them get a little more confidence, and it gives us a chance to practice a little more. Things that we don't do against good teams that we should do. When we meet a team like this, we're able to practice, like going to the net, overheads, serves, and all that stuff. We got Augustine and Wheaton coming up this weekend, and we got Cornell College on Sunday, and they're very good. So we've got our hands full, really.
Coming up, we have North Central College junior Liz Micheletti and junior Molly Link when we return to the Cardinal Report. Stay tuned.